Hi everybody, welcome back to Jay Hunto's Garage. I'm working on fuel lines currently for Project Oddball. That video will be coming out shortly. In the meantime, here's a video I did, kind of cheesy, but it's all about being practical. Reason number one, I buy practical cars. Take this 97 Camaro for instance. It's not that practical of a car, but it's about as exotic as I'm gonna get. Now I like a V8 engine just as much as everyone else. And that's pretty much what I grew up on. But as you get older and have to do maintenance on your own cars, the V6 engine still gives you enough power to get around. You can still get some decent power out of these 3.8 liter V6 engines, and there's less parts to buy. And if you have to do a complete teardown, these engines are so simple. This car is so easy to modify. There's all kinds of aftermarket support for these. They're a dime a dozen, and you can get parts anywhere for it. There's nothing exotic about this car, but it still looks cool, and there's nothing else on the road that looks like it. This car is an RS model, so it's got T-tops. It's got, although it's got a V6, it does have four-wheel disc brakes, positive traction rear end, and a higher gear ratio than the V8 cars have. This car is low. It handles good, it's sporty, it's fun, and it's cheap. Most parts for these cars are super cheap, including engines. The engines that are in this car came in like Buick Park Avenues, Buick LeSabres, front wheel drive V6 cars. Those engines will go right in here. Unless you have a supercharger, then you got to do some modifications to get that to work, but I'm working on that. So in short, this car, parts are cheap, the car's cheap, they're everywhere. You can get parts everywhere. Nothing's got to come from Germany, Japan, or England, nothing like that. So it's American made, the parts are here readily available, and the money that I would spend on a Corvette, I can spend on a vacation. Needless to say, you can modify these cars to no end and really have some fun with them, experiment with them without really hurting the value, because the odds are these cars are not going to be high dollar cars 20-30 years from now. Now the Chevy Suburban, another example of a practical vehicle. Yeah, it only gets about 14 miles per gallon, but it's got a classic Chevy V8 in it. Parts are everywhere. You can get any part you need from these right at your local auto parts store, including interior parts. I've seen door handles of all things hanging on the wall at AutoZone. Everything in it is easy to repair, easy to replace, easy to take off, easy to put back on. I've changed out, in a previous Suburban I've changed out the carpet, the seat skins, headliner, door panels, the dash. You can do anything with these, and they're everywhere. And they also share parts with pickup trucks. Parts are never an issue. Even if you have to get parts from a local salvage yard or a pull apart, they're readily available. They've got everything you could possibly want on these. Again, you can modify these as much as you want, customize them. They're basically a really nice truck, so any modifications you do to them are not going to hurt the value because they're not worth a whole lot anyway. The downside to the Chevy Suburban, of course, is the dash, which cracks pretty regularly, so that's about it. Everything else on this truck is very good. The engine is a Vortec engine, excellent engine, very reliable, and parts are easy to come by. You can haul 8 people in these things, and if you put the seats down in the back and take the third seat out, you can haul your 4x8 sheet of drywall or plywood if you need to. So these are extremely versatile and could very easily be a daily driver with the price of gas nowadays. If you're interested in getting into auto mechanics, Suburbans are great to learn on. They've got a little bit of everything. Nothing is too complicated, and you'll be able to learn just about anything you need to know on the different subsystems, save for the newer cars with the computer, where some cars have 14 computers on them, and they're just a pain. I don't even want to buy one of those cars. You can pretty much do anything you need to do on a Chevy Suburban, Chevy Camaro, or the next car I'm going to show you. The Chevy HHR, another very practical vehicle. Although small, and it doesn't get great gas mileage, about 22 with some city and highway driving, this car is as practical as it gets for small cars. It's very nimble, it's easy to park, it drives nice, it looks nice. This particular car has 224,000 miles on it, and I have replaced the engine and transmission all in my garage. So this car is running outstanding, and it doesn't have any issues as far as reliability. It's been very good. I've replaced the air conditioning, the engine, of course the transmission, and I only replaced the transmission because I already had the engine out. Most of the components surrounding the engine are still factory. I have replaced the water pump, of course, the air conditioning, and the alternator. Everything else is still stock, like the fuel injectors, the coil pack, and really there isn't much more. This engine is so simple, it's reliable. Its weak point is the timing chain and the tensioner. Other than that, great motor. As long as you don't, hot rod it or just drive it like a normal human being, the car will treat you fine and should last for years. This car has been very practical, and we bought this car new, so I couldn't see getting rid of it. After 224,000 miles, it's still in very good condition. So it's my daily driver, Mr. Practical. If you want to get into modifying these cars, go for it. I have seen a lot of HHRs, not to be confused with the PT Cruiser, that have been customized to various degrees. The paint is still in good condition on it. It still looks nice. It's a great daily driver, and something that if it gets wiped out in a car accident or something, that's okay. I'll go get another practical car. Now here's some cars that aren't practical.
Pretty good.
You guys volunteers?
Oh yeah.
What's your name?
Albert.
Albert. Thanks for volunteering, Albert.
Yep. Dwayne. Connor.
This is a 2017 Corvette Invasion at Coda.